As the nation embarks into the new year, there is significant hope that the year that lies ahead, which is scheduled to host 3 tiers of election this time, will lead to political stability, eventually putting the country in the path of peace and prosperity. However, the Election Commission seems to be missing out on voters' education despite pouring millions of rupees for the program. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Political actors in the country in the Nepali New Year 2079 face the Herculean tasks of backtracking an ailing national economy, holding 3 tiers of election, among others. Election Commission directs parties and leaders not to air statements that could lead to doubts over the local level election. Voter education program to start. The International Monetary Fund says the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has weakened the world's economy, expresses concern about looming food shortages in Africa and the Middle East. And Barcelona crash out from the Europa League quarterfinals after being stunned 4-3 on aggregate by underdogs Eintracht Frankfurt. West Ham reaches the semifinals after 46 years. With the start of the Nepali New Year 2079, the government faces the Herculean tasks of backtracking the crisis-ridden national economy, hold the 3 tiers of election to lead the nation into the path of political stability, among others. Political parties at the helm of the government would have the added responsibility of providing finishing touches to the peace process and also settle the ongoing border disputes with India. All the economic indices have nosedived at the start of the Nepali New Year. Against the import status measuring all-time high, domestic production and the export scenario is dismal. The state also faces the conundrum of revamping the foreign exchange reserve by cutting down on import, but the scenario is bound to impact revenue collection, the basis of government expenses. In such a circumstance, the government faces the customary obligation of having to stage all the 3 levels of elections this time around. The government had termed the 5 years post the 2017 3 levels of election as the period for implementing federalism and the formulation of laws. The ground of federalism, as per analysts, is still shaky, while the formulation of laws has only achieved partial success. The government now has the onus of settling the outstanding bills at the earliest to convince a large population whose apprehension against federalism is growing all the time. The government also faces the challenge of holding dialogue with India to settle the border disputes pertaining to the encroached land by India in the Limpiadhura region. All in all, the New Year 2079 is bound to be a challenging year in terms of fulfilling the aspirations of the people to lead the country in the path of peace and economic prosperity. The Election Commission has directed the political parties and leaders not to air statements that would lead to doubts over the local level election. Meanwhile, the Commission is also set to begin the voters' education program starting next week. At a press conference held yesterday, the Election Commission said that political leaders had publicized some opinions in recent days to influence the election. The Commission, therefore, has urged them not to make such statements. The Apex Election Authority has also said that the preparations for the nearing local polls have reached the final stage. The Election Commission has also sought clarification from Executive Director of Nepal Electricity Authority Kulman Ghising and Speaker of Gandaki Province Assembly Netranath Adhikari. With the objective of addressing the issue of depleting foreign reserve, the government has made preparations to allocate some % of initial public offerings or IPOs to migrant workers. The Securities Board of Nepal is currently studying the % to allocate for migrant workers. Despite the increase in number of migrant workers leaving for job opportunities abroad, the reduction in remittance led the government to introduce the policy to promote investment in the share market. The government was compelled to consider this alternative as its previous plan of providing additional 1% interest on amount received through remittance was not a success. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what led to the failure in meeting the government's vaccination goal by mid-April. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
कुर्सीमा मात्र लडाई गरिरहेका हुन्छन् अनि के लाउँछन् खोप
देशमा चाहिँ नि आफूले चाहिँ नि उत्पादन गर्न नसकेको भएर होला
मन्त्रीहरू पनि चेन्ज हुने कारणहरूले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ लक्ष्य पुरा हुन नसकेको हो
सबैजना चुनावतिर लागे खोपतिर कसैको ध्यान नगएर होला
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. Here's the question. What should be done to make the voters' education program effective? Your options are A, active role of election commission, B, responsibility of political parties, and C, voters should be aware. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news. Rashila Marjan and Prince Dahal have won the Prime Minister Cup National Open Ranking Badminton Championship. In the first match of the championship played at the Covered Hall in Tripureshwar yesterday, Prince brushed aside Navin Shrestha in straight sets, 21-17, 21-10. Meanwhile, Nepal Army's Rashila saw off fellow Army shuttler Anumaya Rai, 21-12, 21-18 to win the women category. In men's doubles, the pair of Prince and Navin saw off Prabin Lingtep and Soroj Marjan, 18-21, 21-9, 21-18. Prarthana Deuba won the under-19 girls singles, while Santos Paneru won the under-19 boys singles. Likewise, Kabir Keshi won the under-15 boys singles, and Rose Pandey lifted the under-15 girls singles title. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.